Well, hello again, and Happy New Year from the MT and me. Sitting here inside Pearl for, I guess, first time in 2026. And you know what? She looks just like she did all of last year. So maybe by the time this year is up and we're doing this in 2027, we'll have something a little different to look at in here. Well, we'll see about that when the time comes. As for today, I find myself in that same dilemma. Oh, it's a new year. Where do we start in Pearl? And I have a little bit of an idea that we're going to do today. It has to do with the front end of Pearl. Specifically that over the cab area that needs a lot of work did on it. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to start out though with a little bit of Equinox maintenance. And then we'll come back in here and I've got my tape measure. I got something to write on. We're going to take some measurements today here on the MT and Me. Hi everyone, welcome back to the MT and Me. And welcome to 2026. We're just a few days into this brand new year, and I'm happy to report that since my Christmas Eve, Christmas Day venture south and back, my Equinox here has not overheated. Now, granted, I haven't had her back out on the open road for any length of time. It's all just been local driving, but she's been doing just great. Thought it was time to check, and my fluid level is a little low, coolant level actually. So we're going to top that off here and just see if we're still losing coolant the way we were. Obviously I have lost some, but not a whole lot. Just had to add a little bit, which is good. So we're going to drive around with that for a few days and see how things go. Maybe I can get her out on the open road, travel a few miles, see how things are, and keep those fingers crossed that some of the work I did might have straightened out my coolant leaks wherever they were coming from. Time will tell. In the meantime, I also did a little, I guess, New Year's maintenance. I've already put on new windshield wiper blades. The old ones were showing some wear and tear, so I went ahead and decided to replace them. I replaced all three, which in the case of this Equinox means three different sizes. This one, the driver's side, is a 24-inch blade. Passenger blade on front is a 19-inch. And then, of course, there's the back window, and that blade is 15 inches. So, three new wiper blades, got them in place. It hasn't really rained. However, I have had to use them. For example, this morning we had fog so heavy and dense that it was almost like driving through a misty rain. So I had a lot of moisture on the windshield. Used the wipers. They worked just fine. I think we're going to be in good shape there for another year at least. of the windshield wipers. And that's good, because if you've ever had a wiper mess up in a heavy rainstorm, don't ask me how I know, it's something you just really don't want to experience, let's say, okay? Really. Now, I also made one more purchase. Decided it was time to replace the steering wheel cover, so I bought a brand new one. Already taken the old one off. Nice and blingy. Not really me though. And it was starting to show some wear and tear. So, we'll toss that one in the back. Take this nice new soft leatherette gray one, which I think matches my interior rather nicely. And see about getting it on the steering wheel. Now, the thing about these steering wheel covers is they are basically the same size as the steering wheel, which means they can be problematic. Now, I have put them on before. This is the reason I know that they can be a little tricky. So you have to kind of start at the top and just work your way around, which is a lot easier said than done. Okay, we're doing pretty good on that side. Not so much over here. That's why I want to try and keep it straight as you go. Easy installation. Position top half of the cover over the steering wheel. Done. Stretch and work edges of cover until it slips over the entire wheel and fits firmly. Well, that helps a lot. This is particularly hard when you're starting to get arthritis in your wrist. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you one thing, this thing is definitely going to fit firmly if I ever get it on. Install steering wheel cover. To put on a steering wheel cover, first warm it up to make it pliable. Then align the seam at the bottom of the cover with the bottom of the wheel, stretching it over the top. And working your way down and around with firm, even pressure until it's snug and secure, ensuring it doesn't slip. Stretch the top half of the cover over the top of the wheel. Gradually pull the cover down the sides, working evenly with both hands. And the bottom last, this is the tightest part. You think? Use firm, steady force to stretch the last bit over the bottom of the wheel until it snaps into place. Once on, adjust the cover to make sure it's perfectly centered and doesn't move or twist. Second tip, more force. It's supposed to be tight. You'll need significant strength to get the last bit on. Okay. Now, see, you pull one side and it goes down, but that pulls the other side up. And then you go back to it, and the same thing happens over here. wonder if I were to get something to wedge in there to stretch that down. Okay, this is the handle off one of my hydraulic jacks. Give it a little more leverage here. The trick is holding it and moving this. Okay, that's progress. Oh, we're close. We're so close. If I could just grab this and pull it down. I'm panting and working up a sweat, wrestling with a steering wheel cover. I think I need something a little broader to push down on it. It's just a little pinpoint. Maybe I can find a board. Okay, smaller piece ought to fit. Okay, we are real close, boys and girls. Maybe if I get something to pull this. I know I keep going for tools, but this is the way the ideas are coming to me. Okay, latest idea. Praise the spirits, it's on there. Wow. I was really doubtful. But it is. It's on there. And I am worn out. I feel like I've been through a wrestling match. Okay, so with a little time, this thing will adjust and acclimate itself. Yeah, but it's on there. I cannot accurately relay the sense of accomplishment I feel right now. So I feel like I have fought the machine and won with my bare hands. And now I am worn out. So, a good evening's work here on the Equinox. I'm not sure what tomorrow will hold, but we'll find out then. I'm gonna go rest now. Okay, so a couple of days have gone by and we're back out here in Pearl. It's warmed up again. I'm in short sleeves. We have a serious threat of rain and stormy weather coming in, and if it does start raining, it's going to get awfully loud inside this big tin bread box that I call a Pearl. So let's get on with what we're doing here, and it shouldn't take long anyway. What I want to do today is basically get some measurements of all of this area in the cab over that's going to have to be replaced. As you know from previous videos, the floor of this area got wet and stayed wet for a very long time. And as a result, the wood just rotted away. It is, for the most part, no longer connected to the fiberglass shell of this overcab area. So we've got to replace this entire floor to get a good foundation back in here for whatever I end up deciding to do with this area. Originally, where I'm standing, there was a two-piece fold-out section that would cover it up completely over the driver and passenger seat, and there was a mattress up here. It was almost a full-size bed. I don't think I'm going to put a bed back up here. I sort of like this openness. So we may be going with that. This is all speculation at this point. But regardless of what ends up in this space, I do know that this space, all around it, has got to have some work done on it. I'm going to have to buy some plywood and redo it completely. And today, we're going to get measurements on all those parts to see just how much wood we need. And of course, I'm going to take notes because I'm old and I can't remember anything. So let's start with the driver's side here. First of all, you can plainly see where this is completely separated. I can stick my hand to the outside, which is not a good thing. So, okay. From the fiberglass to the inside of the original board here on the bottom, we're going to call it 20 inches. Maybe I should kind of sketch this as I go. And it will be a rough sketch. See, it comes up like that, goes across. See, I took art in school. Yeah. Okay. From there to there, 20 inches. All right. Now, let's get that out of the way. And this is tricky because it does curve here, so we'll have to worry about that later. Let's get an overall length on the inside here. Maximum length is going to be, get that up front, get that on the back. What are we looking at? 65 and a half. Okay, so from here to here, 65 1/2. And there we have the driver's side. Let's do the passenger side and then we'll split the difference down the middle. Now, of course, in a perfect world, the measurements on this side would be the same as the measurements on that side. 20 inches. Well, off to a good start here. That is the same. Now, point to point. Now this is coming out to 66 inches. But I'm doing something here that I couldn't do on the other side. I'm getting my rule stuck. Because of this gap right here, I can actually measure the board itself, because I can go under that fiberglass cowling, which has a lip on it that curls under, and I'll bet you that's a 1/2 inch lip. So we're going to call that 66 inches because that's what I got, and we're also going to change the other to 66 inches even instead of 65.5. Okay, got both sides here. Let's move to the front piece. Now here I have a single board that goes between the two side boards. This is all in 3 pieces. Let's start with front to back here. And once again, I want to get under to the edge of that board and come all the way back. And we're a little shy of 29. That way, let's try this way. $52.5. So from here to here is 52.5. Coming up with fractions after all. And there's no overlap involved there, so that's actually 52.5 inches. Which means, with 20 and 20, my total width is 92.5 inches. So, let's see. 8 feet is 96 inches. 92.5 is right at 7.5 feet, which is about the interior width here on Pearl. The maximum overall outer width of a vehicle on American roads is 8 feet, unless you have a special permit. So, Pearl's considered 8 feet wide on the outside. 7.5 on the inside. It's pretty close. Okay, so now we've got some measurements, and if I do this the way it's constructed, there are, as I pointed out, 3 pieces here. See if I can show you. There's a side, and then a connecting piece right across the middle. Get the shadow out of the way. So that's, 1, 2, 3 different pieces of wood. I had debated, should I try to cut this out of one piece? But for one thing, I can't. These are 60 inches on the side. That's 5 feet. A piece of plywood is only going to be 4 by 8. So the 8 would work going across, but I'm going to come up short when it comes to these sides, which possibly I could shorten, because after all, this is my project, and if I decide to do it a little differently from the original construction, I can certainly do that. Simply because of the way this construction is done. I say I could. I might be totally wrong about that. I think my best bet is going to be build it back the way it was originally built, which means we had a sandwich construction here. Let me show you. You can see here, first of all, you can plainly see the damage on this side, but ignore that for a moment. I'm talking about this space right in here. We have framing. We have this 1x framing in here. Actually, this is 1/2 inch, I guess, 1/2 inch framing. And there were pieces of insulation in here because this, once you get past the door, is an outside wall. Okay, so you want some sort of insulation there because there's metal covering on the other side of it. So we had foam insulation in here all the way around, and then another piece just like this on top. So it's all sandwiched together, and that gives you additional strength and additional insulation. So yeah, I still have the pieces of insulation that came out of this, so I'll put them back in. So now I know what I need to get wood-wise. I'll just have to come up with a total here. I can't do that in my head, but it's going to be 2 sheets, I'm sure, of plywood to get all this out. I got a diagram, I got some measurements, and I got numbers. So I feel a sense of accomplishment. Not a whole lot, but a bit of accomplishment anyway. Enough accomplishment that I think I'm going to draw it to a close here today and go crunch some numbers and see exactly how much wood I am going to have to get. And I'm not making a promise here, but this may be happening in the near future. This is one of those projects that I really need to get done. To get this structure taken care of here on the front and get it re-secured. Then we can turn our attention to getting some wall studs up, finishing the roof reinforcement, whatever we want to do up there. Then we can put a new roof coating on Pearl and have her all sealed in against the weather. This would be a very good thing to approach as we move on into this new year. So I thank you for joining me here for this first episode of the new year. I hope you will continue to watch and track the progress that we make here in this beautiful 77 model mobile traveler motor home that I lovingly have dubbed Pearl. Nomies, I love you guys. Thanks for all your support in 2025 and the years before that. Keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up and join me again next week right here on the MT and Me. I got my measure, I got my notepad and my pen. I'm Russ. I'm out of here. We'll talk later.